And a very good Thursday morning to you, the 22nd day of February 2018. Wake Up Wenatchee Valley live and in living color from Studio 7 here in downtown Wenatchee. I'm Dan Kuntz, your host for the next hour. My friend to my immediate left is News Director Steve Hare. You get your own lower third.
Wow, Kat, thanks a lot.
History made today. You were last week, you mentioned this on this very program. You said, how come I don't get a lower third?
Yeah.
Well, you get one now, Steve.
Well, I've been having one for the past 2 weeks. That's a different story.
Kat is in control, pushing the buttons, playing the piano, making sure that everything works properly. Thanks for starting your day with us here on the NCW Live channel. Jam-packed show. I had a wonderful time last night watching the Olympics. It was the best night so far.
Wow. How about the women's hockey team?
Women, if you don't know yet, they won in a shootout. Not real happy with the format. I don't like that. I think they should just play hockey until somebody wins. But they broke Canada's 20-year stranglehold on the gold medal. The U.S. women's hockey team are the champions of the Olympics. The cross-country sprint yesterday afternoon was phenomenal. It was one of the best events I have ever seen. Gold medal for the tandem for the ladies. It was a good day for the USA at the Olympics yesterday.
Good thing, too, because they were kind of, falling short of what their goals were in terms of medaling. And so, yeah, they're looking good. And,
of course, the International Olympic Committee, they're not a big fan of the medal count because there isn't, they try to downplay that, but the rest of the world and the rest of the media, they want to know how good each individual country did as opposed to the individual athletes. And there's nothing you can do about that, I suppose.
Yeah, well, back in the day, it used to be just amateur athletes, and it was all about the athlete, not necessarily the nationality. So, yeah.
Because they have, if you can prove any kind of ancestry, there was an American who won gold for Italy because like her grandparents were Italian, So
that happens a lot.
Yeah,
like in basketball, even some of the pro basketball players that play in the NBA are from foreign countries and they play for their home country.
All of this has nothing to do with mobile meals, by the way. They're going to be on the second half of the show. Marky Bowling and Sandy Briggs are patiently standing by talking about the big Mobile Meals Variety Show, which is coming up on Friday, the 2nd of March.
Wow.
The 10th of them.
I'm assuming they have refreshments.
I'm assuming so.
Mobile refreshments.
Mobile refreshments, that's right. We'll talk about the good folks at Mobile Meals and the big variety show and everything else that entails coming up in the back half of the hour. We got sports, a huge victory last night for the Wenatchee Wild. Big stuff. We got highlights too. In case you missed that, we also have the obscure holiday. It's National Chili Day today.
Ooh.
Guess what's
every day of the week as far as I'm concerned.
I love chili.
I do too.
And I'm going to bring in a little chili for my coworkers today.
Are you?
I made some yesterday afternoon when I got home.
Some of the famous Kuntz family recipe?
No, it's my recipe.
Your recipe?
Yeah.
Alone? Okay, all right.
If it was a Kuntz family recipe, nobody would eat it.
Trial and error? Is that how
I've been making this particular chili for close to 30 years.
Yeah.
That's my base recipe, and I add a little. The secret ingredient is love. It really is. Plus, we have birthdays and today in history, and everyone is entitled to Mike Benatti's opinion. We're done wasting time. Let's take you around North Central Washington with our Valley View cameras on a cold Thursday.
I woke up with some talcum powder in the front driveway.
We had some light flurries, which was not in the forecast.
Very dry snow.
Yeah, very dry. Talcum powder like dry. It's 14 degrees outside of our studios, by the way. Yesterday, Steve, it was 12 for the overnight low. That was just 2 degrees off the record.
Wow.
The all-time record low for Wednesday was 10 degrees. So we almost set a new record for low temperature yesterday.
Wow.
Didn't quite make it. We have to guess what that is. Steve, what do you think? That looks to me like this is the Wenatchee Valley. What do you think?
It does.
Okay.
Looking down from Wenatchee Heights across to Birch Mountain there and get a little dusting of snow.
And for those of you who are unfamiliar with how this little segment of the program works, from this point forward, we don't know. Kat, our producer, decides what cameras to use. That is,
wow.
That's Badger. That's Badger. Pointing, it's got to be pulled way back.
Badger
way
looking
back.
west.
That is way up there. Isn't that just incredible?
Yeah. It is a beautiful shot.
We live in a
somewhere
beautiful area.
up near McGinnis Canyon, I would imagine there.
That was named after, of course, Vice President Jerry Canyon, who was Vice President, I believe, in the McKinley administration. I can't remember. Camera 3. That is
looking down.
That's Lower Butte, I want to say. That's Upper Butte. That's Upper Butte. So good morning, Chelan.
And that would be Wapato Point there.
Yeah, I was going to say, I think that is Bear Mountain. And that's Wapato Point that you see jutting out into the lake. That's Bear Mountain. I wonder if the golf course is open yet. My guess is not.
Probably not.
It's one of my favorite golf courses, Bear Mountain.
I've never played there.
It's a nice combination of challenging and yet fun.
Very hilly.
Yeah, very hilly.
Well, climbing.
Yeah, well, that's why we have golf carts. And camera number 4. is that's Nanapoc. It looks so much
Ridge.
different than it did yesterday. Good morning, Nanapoc Ridge. We are the number 4 rated show up in Nanapoc Ridge. Number 4 up there.
Behind.
Good morning. And if you look carefully, Steve, you see that on the left?
Yeah, that's
Bigfoot.
Bigfoot.
Bigfoot. You have to look carefully. You have to squint a little bit. I think I see Bigfoot.
No, that's Eric.
He's probably scouting for the upcoming hunting season, right? So that is our views from the Wenatchee Valley. All of those courtesy of Local-Tel Sky-Fi high-speed wireless internet, which means you can get screaming fast internet to your home without having fiber. Call 888-8888 for more details. Your forecast, as Steve mentioned, we woke up to some light flurries, very, very light flurries, and that's intermittent, super light flurries, not sticking to the ground, is your forecast for the day. High today of 34. We have not gotten to the forecast afternoon high for the last couple of days. I don't think we're going to get to 34. Yesterday we only got to 26. It was just cold. Yeah. Normal high for this time of the year is 44 degrees. So we've been well below normal for quite some time. Just a couple of light flakes here and there. It's going to be cold in general, just cold and dry really for today, tonight. Friday could see a little bit of light snow. I'm not betting on it. Maybe a ½ inch Friday night spilling into Saturday. That's it. Not going to stick around. Saturday's high, as you can see, 44 degrees. What's going on is that Arctic air that came down to visit us from Alaska and British Columbia is being shoved out. The jet stream is going to move around a little bit. It's going to allow slightly warmer air to come in. So that's a big temperature change. Look at Friday's high compared to Saturday, almost 10 degrees.
We're about a week away now from March.
Yeah.
Right? So, yeah.
March is a week from today.
That's right.
You know, you're just a font of information. So just a little bit of light snow here and there, gradual warming trend. So things are fairly typical winter weather. Now the mountain passes right now. Now's a good time to go because come this weekend, it's going to get bad. Let's do a live shot of I-90 right now. No advisories, no restrictions, some snow and ice in places. Occasional light snow. It is not sticking to the ground. I-90, you are good to go and will be for most of the day today. Stevens Pass has a traction tire advisory. It's snowing lightly on Stevens Pass, but it looks like I'm seeing quite a bit of pavement there. Traction tires are advised anyway, with some compact snow and ice in places on the roadway. Blewett has a traction tire advisory posted by the DOT, I should say. Snow and ice in places on the roadway on Blewett Pass. It is snowing there. And again, traction tires are advised. Very little snow accumulation expected in the mountain passes today, Steve. Not much at all. Same deal tonight. Friday afternoon is when they're going to start getting a series of systems that are going to give the passes quite a bit of snow. Friday afternoon, 3 to 5 inches of snow in the mountain passes. Friday night, an additional 6 to 10 inches of snow. Saturday, a couple of inches of snow. Saturday night, a couple of inches of snow. And then a big system on Sunday. You ready for this? 10 to 14 inches of snow in the mountain passes on Sunday. So be forewarned. And then that heavy snow is going to spill over into Sunday night.
I could imagine also that we might expect to see some avalanche control.
Avalanche control is certainly a possibility. That's a lot of snow in a very short period of time. So it's going to start Friday night and Friday afternoon essentially for snow in the mountain passes if you plan on heading up into the Cascades, starting Friday afternoon about 2-ish or so, and really spilling all the way over into Sunday night and a Monday, but the heaviest snow will be on Sunday.
Great idea, folks. Our website, ncwlife.com, you can stay on top of the travel conditions over the passes by just clicking on that link on our navigation bar there at the top of our website, and just stay on top of that if you're planning any weekend travel over the Cascades this weekend.
9 minutes after the hour, a few flurries. It is 13 degrees outside of our studio. It's going to take a quick 1-minute break, and when we come back, the guy who's wearing the same colored shirt as I am, News Director Steve Hare.
The Teal Brothers.
We'll have your news when we come back. You're watching Wake Up Wenatchee Valley, live from Studio 4 in downtown Wenatchee on the NCW Live channel.
My name's Robert Duff. Current and previous occupation is architect, engineer, and a lawyer. Grew up here in Washington, born in Moses Lake. When I first came to CVCH, was looking for a place to get some dental work done. I was really impressed with the people at the counter. I mean, they were just on top of it. It only took her like 15 minutes to do the job. I didn't feel anything. The technology is so great, you don't even realize you're at the dentist. These people are so professional. I would have any one of these people in my home for dinner. These people are family.
RLS Productions is proud to bring to the NCW Life Channel the Concerts in the Gardens Summer Series held at Omi Gardens. The series features performances from Rare Earth's Peter Rivera, Heart by Heart, Too Slim and the Tail Draggers, The Infinity Project, the Wenatchee Swingin' Big Band, and a whole host of other great acts. Tune in Wednesdays at 1:30 and 7 p.m. and Fridays and Saturdays at 10:30 a.m. and 9 p.m. RLS Productions Concerts in the Gardens Summer Series, only on the NCW Life Channel.
And now it's time for your local news update with Steve Hare.
Yeah, getting right down to it here on this Thursday, the 22nd day of February. Here's some of the stories we're following at NCW Life News. First of all, more Bitcoin mining operations in Chelan County could affect your wallet. Chelan County PUD commissioners this week discussed the district's response to requests for large amounts of power that have recently been received primarily from the Bitcoin industry. Meanwhile, if realized, those requests would double the amount of PUD retail service. General Manager Steve Wright says large amounts of service translates into potentially large amounts of dollars at risk.
We recognize that there is a lot of support for economic development in the community and being able to use megawatts from the PUD to support economic development. But at the same time, we also know there are very different kinds of loads out there, and the community has different reactions to different types of loads. So we have everything from Diamond Foundry type load to Bitcoin type loads. And candidly, we're trying to figure out policy that has to apply across the broad array of larger than 5 megawatt loads that we will be confronted with.
Now, the PUD did set some guidelines for responding to requests of more than 5 megawatts of power. They would include an expanded application process, payments in advance for work to be performed, and defining contract options, including possible rates. Now, Chelan County PUD currently has requests from 7 Bitcoin operators who are each seeking from 5 to 100 megawatts of power. Also, revenue for the next 2 budget cycles will bring in more than $1.2 billion than previously forecast for the next 2 budget cycles in Washington State. That's the latest prediction by the Washington State Economic and Revenue Forecast Council. The revenue forecast has been increased by $647 million for the 2017-19 budget cycle and by $671 million for the following 2-year budget cycle. Now, there's also an anticipated $200 plus million in reduced caseload costs or entitlement programs. Wenatchee Representative Kerry Condata said some of the good news should be extended to the taxpayers of Washington State in the form of property tax relief.
I'm really interested to see how much tax increase they really put into the budgets. I think we've scared them off the last week or two. I think that forecast with more money really threw them a curve, and I really would be surprised if they build in too much on extra taxes. But we'll see. The rubber hits the road now. We're 2.5 weeks, 3 weeks out of the end of this thing, and all that information is going to hit the ground.
We did get an update on that situation. Condata reported yesterday in a Facebook post that property tax relief bills are now included in both the House and Senate versions of the supplemental budget. The legislature, by the way, is scheduled to adjourn the 60-day session on March 8th. A second candidate has filed for the position of Douglas County Sheriff. Leon Leidy has filed candidacy papers with the Washington State Public Disclosure Commission. Leidy has worked in law enforcement for 32 years, served for 25 years with the Washington State Patrol. He's currently an officer serving on the East Wenatchee Police Department. Leidy is running as a Republican and is the second candidate to file for that position. Fellow Republican and Douglas County Undersheriff Kevin Morris announced his candidacy several weeks ago, and will also be meeting with Mr. Leidy next week in an interview, so you can have an up-close and personal look at the second candidate running for Harvey Jesdal's job. Jesdal announced earlier in the year that he is retiring at the end of his term. Man's best friend was exactly that for an afraid of man early Wednesday morning. Grant County Sheriff Canine Grizzly has been credited with saving the life of a man suffering from Alzheimer's disease who wandered away from his home. Deputies responding to a Road A Northwest residence where a woman reported her 85-year-old husband was missing. Members of the Ephrata Police Department, Fire District 13, and ambulance crews joined forces to help that search. Searchers combed the area on foot. They even used a heat-sensing camera, but couldn't find the man. That's where Canine Grizzly and his handler, Deputy Dave De La Rosa, came in. They arrived and within just minutes found the missing man in a large hole about 100 yards from the home. Man apparently fell in the hole, injured his ankle, and was not able to walk. He was taken by ambulance to Columbia Basin Hospital in Ephrata for treatment, cold exposure, and the ankle injury. It's uncertain how long that man had been trapped in that hole. Chelan Douglas Land Trust hosting a big event. It's called their Wild Ideas. It's a big event at the Pybus Market this weekend. And Megan McPherson reports for NCW Life News.
Hey, we're here with Hillary Clark with the Chelan Douglas Land Trust, and we're going to be talking about the Wild Ideas event happening at Pybus this Friday. Hillary, can you tell us more?
Sure. So yeah, it's a fun social event. It's free, it's open to anyone, and it just is sort of an excuse to get down and come to Pybus and learn a little bit about the Land Trust. We're going to have free finger foods and non-alcoholic drinks, and then also beer and wine available for purchase. And the beer is provided by Wenatchee Valley Brewing, which is just right across Pybus. And there's, plenty of time to socialize, meet other people that really enjoy getting outside and learning about the natural world. And then we're going to have short presentations. It's going to be super fun topics, 5-minute presentations from 3 different people about things that have to do with sharing our land with wildlife. So we're going to have a talk about snakes and what kind of snakes you might see on the trail and what they're doing in the winter. And then a presentation about sage grouse and how we and partners are helping to protect the sage grouse in the area. And then another one about trail design and how we decide where to put a trail based on what humans want and what wildlife wants. And then after that, our executive director, Kurt, is going to bring it all together and sort of talk about land trust projects that we have done last year and this coming year. And it should be really exciting. And it's, even if you're not a member, if you're a longtime member, you should be able to learn something no matter how much familiarity you have with us. So.
Great. Well, sounds like a fun event.
Yeah.
Thank you. Megan McPherson, NCW Life News.
Thanks a lot for that report, Megan. By the way, that event is happening from 5:30 to 7 p.m. at Pybus Public Market on Saturday. Well, Dan rejoins us now for a preview of a special performance that's occurring this weekend at Wenatchee Valley Museum and Cultural Center.
They were on my show yesterday. It's the 11th annual People of Our Past. It's a chance to step back in time. It's a really cool event. They're doing something new this year. They're going to all the people involved, the actual real-life people were residents of Wenatchee in 1905, and they're all going to be together interacting in a certain way. Fascinating interview I had yesterday with Jeff Heminger and Ashley Sinner from the Wenatchee Valley Museum and Cultural Center to talk about People of Our Past. It's this weekend.
A lot of those kind of early pioneer folks back in the day, he just did everything. There were so many people that were involved in every club and just really trying to get the community started. And so he worked on steamships, he worked in his father's tinsmith shop. Later in his life, he became the first police chief and the first Chelan County sheriff. He owned the first theater in town. He would act in shows. He played in Wenatchee's first band. He just kind of did it all. So just really fascinating character.
That's Jeff Heminger, who's going to be portraying Ed Ferguson, one of the Wenatchee pioneers.
Interesting interview yesterday. In fact, off camera, we were talking before he came on with you. We were talking about our shared ancestry here in the Wenatchee Valley because I had a great grandfather who, along with his wife, and my grandfather and his brother lived here in Wenatchee back in 1903. In fact, my great uncle Charles drowned in the Wenatchee River just offshore. Turns out that Jeff Heminger's ancestor and my ancestor both worked on the Alexander Griggs steamship.
Wow. I had no idea. That's fascinating.
Interesting.
4 performances of People of Our Past. The big gala performance is going to be Saturday night at 6. All of this, of course, at the Wenatchee Valley Museum and Cultural Center. That'll run you $40 if you're a non-member, $35 if you're a member. You get food, you get drink, you get to see the performance.
It's a great show.
It's a really great show. And then the other shows, there's 2 more on Saturday and then 1 on Sunday. I believe the Saturday performances are at 10 a.m. and 2 p.m. and then the Sunday performance as well. That's simply by donation. So, but get your tickets because it's a sellout.
Yeah.
So People of Our Past. Yeah, the 11th one. That's good.
Yeah, that's what I heard.
So, oh, by the way, I don't know if you do this or not. We got the Mobile Meals folks coming in here for the second half of the show. Your grandson Parker will be performing in the variety show.
Oh, is he now?
Yeah, he's in it. He's in the show.
I can't keep up with him myself.
I know.
Yeah,
he's a
quite
good
kid.
dancer.
He's quite a kid. I'll
Yeah,
tell you.
he's a good kid.
He's won a couple of scholarships, as a matter of fact.
Has he? Really?
In competition, New York, Seattle. So yeah, fabulous feat. I'll tell you what, great organization, great dance studio, and just a superb job that they're doing up there.
Yeah, they are. Kudos. You were exactly right. The news with Grant Olson comes your way at 5 o'clock, 6 o'clock, and 10 o'clock. Grant in the anchor chair. Eric handles sports. Grant also does the weather. We do our feature story, whatever news that happens to take place throughout the course of this Thursday, February 22nd. We'll put it all together for a nice little package for you. Again, 5 o'clock, 6 o'clock, and 10 o'clock. You can also watch it on demand late in the afternoon once it's all put together by going to our website at ncwlife.com. And while you're there, fish around a little bit and get a hold of us and say hi.
That's right. You can do it. You have a little tab at the top of the page, Contact Us. Just click that and send in your recommendations for possible news stories. If you have an issue or a topic you think we should be covering, contact us that way, or you can write to us on our email address at news@ncwlife.com. Also, you can contact us by social media, like us on Facebook, and always follow us on Twitter. And then, of course, we have our breaking news hotline, which is always available to you. If you see news happening, call 888-NCWL.
Mostly sunny skies today. The occasional light flurry hopefully will top off at 34 degrees. We haven't seen the 30s in a few days. Anyway, it's 14 degrees outside of our studios at 21 after the hour. When we come back, sports, big victory for the Wenatchee Wild on the road last night, and we will have highlights. It's 1 minute away. You're watching Wake Up Wenatchee Valley live this morning from Studio 15 in downtown Wenatchee on the NCW Life channel.
I'm Grant Olson, and you're watching the NCW Life channel.
I'm Eric Grandstrom with NCW Life Sports.
I'm NCW Life News Director Steve Hare.
Catch us on LocalTel Channel 12.
You can watch us on Charter Channel 19 or stream us live on ncwlife.com.
Follow us on Twitter and like us on Facebook.
Where we cover the local high schools, the Wenatchee Wild, and the pro teams out of Seattle.
On Saturday, we have a 90% chance of rain.
Catch it all right here on the NCW Life channel.
Bay Equity Home Loans in Wenatchee, serving all of North Central Washington. We make it our priority to learn all about your financial needs. Whether you're buying your first home, refinancing, or want a reverse mortgage, our mortgage professionals are ready to guide you through the loan process. We have a wide variety of loan products to fit your family's needs. Call Bay Equity Home Loans of Wenatchee today for your pre-approval. 509-888-0466.
Sharply over for Sasaki.
Cool. We got to the highlights right away, which I love. We mentioned this yesterday. The Wenatchee Wild have played 10 overtime games so far this season. 2 of those were against West Kelowna, and sure enough, it happened again last night. Our highlights tonight, this morning, come from the Royal LePage Place. It is the first of the 3-game road series to wrap up the regular season for the Wenatchee Wild. We're going to jump right to the third period. Things didn't look so good. The Wild were down 4-2 to West Kelowna last night, and then Wenatchee caught fire. The voice of the Wild, Arch Ecker, the video courtesy of Hockey TV.
Sharply over for Sasaki. He stick handles, waits, he scores! Over the right leg pad, under the blocker, and inside the pipe on the far side. Chad Sasaki, power play goal, and the Wild closed the gap to 1. Dished ahead and broken up by Modry and chipped ahead on the near side. And here's Souter. He shoots, he scores! A shorthanded goal from Lucas Souter. And Dorsey's going to get the assist on it. It's back across Zach, dead straight away. Slings it over Morton. He shoots and he scores! Morton rifles it upstairs, popped the water bottle. A power play goal, and the Wild now lead it 5-4. Works it into the corner. Shot, stop made. Puck loose, kicks over to Demon. Demon from the circle in front to Vanderbeck, and he scores! A.J. Vanderbeck from the high slot. Slava Demon fed him from the top of the far circle, and Vanderbeck went low glove side. Amundrud was a little deep in his crease, and as Vanderbeck rips that one home, the Wild now lead it by 2. Mishandle it for a moment, recovers, sends it over on the right side. There's a shot tipped in front, backhander, loose puck, score. Galambos and then over for Dorsey. Back across, it's picked off by Ryan. Ryan over to the right, he's in, he shoots and he scores! And Murphy's just going to press it up against the back wall and settle for the extra session, which guarantees the Warriors a point. And that locks them into the 5th seed. Stratton enters his own. He's got Galambos driving to the net. He waits. Instead, he'll drop it off for a cycling Galambos. Back down low. Dorsey in. He shoots. He scores. Matt Dorsey. What a gorgeous finish for Matt Dorsey as he picked up the puck and then curled it over to his forehand, tucked it in behind Dollywall. And the Wild pull out the 7-6 overtime win.
Wow, what a third period. Matt Dorsey, the hero. He scored 3 minutes and 49 seconds into overtime. That secured the victory for the Wild and a virtual tie for second in the BCHL's interior division with Vernon. Incredibly now, with 2 games left, Wenatchee still has a chance to move up the ladder as far as playoff seeding is concerned. Here's head coach and GM Bliss Littler in a preview of tonight's Call of the Wild on the NCW Live channel.
We know that's going to be a battle, that both games up there have been really tight, and I don't expect anything to be any different. So if we're fortunate to keep collecting points there, all of a sudden at that point, then we put a lot of pressure on Vernon. That we're going into their building, and if you win that game, at worst you have the number 2 seed.
And with the win last night, it adds even more on the line with the games Friday and Saturday, and Coach Bliss Littler loves that.
And if you told me we're going into game 58 and still had a chance at winning the league with a team that only returned 6 players, I think we would have said, yeah, we'll take that. Now, obviously, Penticton does play on Sunday, but let's take it one game at a time here. Let's see what happens. If we can collect max points on Wednesday, I can't wait for that battle to go into Vernon and have second place on the line. I think that would be awesome.
Well, Coach Bliss Littler gets his wish. That's exactly the scenario for tomorrow night. Now, Penticton did win. They beat Salmon Arm last night. The final was 8-1. They have 2 games remaining, Saturday against Wenatchee and Sunday at Salmon Arm. With last night's win, the V's only need 1 more point to earn the number 1 seed and take the regular season championship in the British Columbia Hockey League. So what's coming up tonight on the NCW Live channel? It's Thursday. That means hockey night. It starts at 7 o'clock, Call of the Wild. You'll also see more of Arch's interview with Bliss Littler. You also get to see Clarkie's Corner, where assistant coach and new baby daddy Chris Clark visits with Jasper Weatherby. It'll be followed by Wenatchee's game against Trail from last Friday at the Town Toyota Center. By the way, here's a photo of Chris Clark's newborn son, Cooper. Oh, can't go wrong with baby photos. Clarkie was with his wife for Cooper's birth just a couple of days ago. Then he drove himself up to West Kelowna for last night's game, was driving home last night, and then going to turn around and head back up to meet up with the team tomorrow in Vernon. By the way, congratulations to the Clark family. Chris Clark, one of my favorites. Taking a quick look ahead at our broadcast schedule. We're going to be re-airing that unbelievable double overtime game between Wenatchee and Eastmont in a boys playing basketball playoff game. We're going to re-air that tomorrow night at 7 o'clock. You don't want to miss it. On Saturday, it's North Central and Eastmont boys hoops from back in early January. That's at 2 o'clock Saturday afternoon, followed by the Wenatchee and Eastmont girls bowling from January 16th. That'll be on Saturday night at 7. And that is sports at 28 minutes after the hour. Let's do the obscure holiday of the day today. It's National Chili Day. National Chili Day. Made chili when I got home yesterday. It's time consuming. I'm a chili connoisseur. I think we all pretty plain about that. Knowing that today, February 22nd, is National Chili Day, when I got home, I made my chili. And I didn't eat any of it. I just made it, cooked it up, let it all get together, and now it's sitting in the refrigerator at my house. All the spices are getting to know one another, and then hopefully I will slowly eat it up during the mid-morning hours, and we'll take a crack at my chili for lunch today. There's 2 different kinds of thoughts on chili as far as beans. Some say absolutely beans are a big no-no. I put beans in my chili. I don't care. The cool thing about chili is you really can't, no 2 chilies are the same. No 2 chilies are exactly the same. And as chili worked its way around North America, it became regionalized. There's Texas chili and Cincinnati chili and all kinds of white chili and chicken chili. Can't really go wrong with chili. Why February 22nd is National Chili Day, I don't know. I don't care. Gave me a good excuse to make my chili. I hope my coworkers like it because I have not tasted it. I don't eat my chili right after I make it. I make it and then I put it in the fridge and I don't consume it until the next day because that overnight, what's the word I'm looking for? It's just better the second day, I guess is the best way to put it. We'll find out in a few hours. 30 minutes after the hour, today in history, February 22nd. One of the better deals that we made happened on this date in 1819. 199 years ago, Spain sells Florida. That's the actual treaty. Spain sells Florida to the United States for $5 million. Spain was having some trouble with Florida. They were in some wars. Florida was an afterthought. They said, let's just get rid of it. The U.S. wants it. Let's sell it. By the way, $5 million in 1819 came out to less than 1 cent per square mile for the state of Florida. Nicely done, John Quincy Adams. Spain sold Florida to the United States on this date 199 years ago. This is the 59th anniversary of the very first Daytona 500. Lee Petty wins the Daytona 500 in a photo finish over Johnny Beauchamp. It took 3 days to declare Lee Petty the official winner. They looked at films, they looked at photos, and they finally said, Lee Petty, you are the winner of the very first Daytona 500, and it's considered a perfect race. And by that I mean, and it almost never happens in NASCAR, there were no caution periods. No caution periods. And in the world of NASCAR, if you do an entire race without a caution period, it's considered a perfect race, and one of the very few perfect races in NASCAR history. And if you were around 38 years ago today, you'll never forget where you were when that happened. The Miracle on Ice, February 22nd, 1980. Lake Placid, New York, the United States men's hockey team defeated the Soviet Union 4-3. At the conclusion of the 20th century, in 1999, Sports Illustrated named the Miracle on Ice the #1 sports moment of the 20th century. It was remarkable. I was an Olympia at the time. I was a page. I was a Senate page for Senator George Seller, and got back from doing some work for the good senator, and that's all anybody was talking about. Because it wasn't on live TV. You remember, it was on tape delay to be broadcast in prime time. We will never forget the Miracle on Ice. All right, 32 minutes after the hour. Birthdays. I think you've heard of this guy. George Washington, first in war, first in peace, first in the hearts of his countrymen. George Washington was born on this date, February 22nd, 1732. Died just a few days short of the year 1800. He died in December 1799 at the age of 67. Fun facts about George. I got something for you. Of course, George fathered a country, but he had no children of his own. He had no children of his own. When he married Martha, Martha had 4 kids from her first marriage. Martha Washington was a widow when he married her. He adopted, of course, Martha's kid, but he never fathered any children of his own. When he died, George Washington was worth $530,000, which means by today's money, he would be worth $70 million. George did good for himself. He was a good businessman. He took Martha's fortune and made it even bigger. He would have been worth $70 million if he was alive today. He did good. He's a big guy for his time period. He was 6'3", and for that time period in the mid-1700s, that was big. George Washington was a big, physically impressive guy. He had a bout of smallpox when he was 18 years old, but that was good news because it left him immune to the disease that pretty much ravaged the Continental Army. The biggest problem that he had in the Continental Army during the Revolutionary War was smallpox. He never got it because he got it when he was 18. He survived and was immune. And when George Washington was president, the capital was in Philadelphia. That's where the capital was. George Washington was never president in Washington, D.C. And he wasn't happy with the food that they were serving at the presidential house in Philadelphia. So he sent for his slave Hercules from Mount Vernon, who was his favorite cook, and Hercules became his cook in Philadelphia. But in Pennsylvania, they had a law that if a slave lived in Pennsylvania for 6 months or more, he was automatically a free man. So right before the 6-month expiration date, for years and years, George Washington would send Hercules back to Mount Vernon. He'd stay there for a couple weeks and then come back out and start all over again. After a while, Hercules caught on to this, and right before George Washington was going to send him back to Mount Vernon, Hercules took off. Never saw him again. George Washington was born in this state in 1732. And Julius Erving, Dr. J, the only player voted the most valuable player in both the ABA and the NBA, 68 years old today, NBA Hall of Famer, class of 1993, brought playing above the rim to a whole new level. Happy 68th to the good doctor. 34 minutes after the hour, everyone is entitled to Mike Minotti's opinion. Then when we come back, our good friends Marky Bowling and Sandy Briggs, the Mobile Meals Variety Show. This is coming up on Friday, March 2nd. They will be in our studio when we come back. You're watching Wake Up Wenatchee Valley on the NCW Live channel.
Hey there, Wenatchee. I'm Sean Lee, and I'm inviting you to come down and check out what we're all about at Badger Mountain Brewing.
Great beer, good food, and an endless source of entertainment for the whole family. Our Honey Blonde beer is flying off the shelves at your local grocery store. But I tell you what, it's even better on tap. And while you're here, try our signature Badger sauce with one of our delicious meals. Whether you're in the mood for a wrap, salad, pizza, or nachos, Badger Mountain Brewing has what you're looking for.
I'm Jenny Rojanasatian, and this is Guada TV. Every week we will be bringing you a first look at North Central Washington business, tech, and education news. You'll hear from local influencers and innovators who live right here in the Valley. Together we'll discuss hot topics, current events, and resources that can support your business, our schools, and this community. Join me every week, and let's get inspired.
This is TV. This is TV Set Free. TV everywhere from Localtel sets you free to watch what you want, where you want. Catch your favorite networks, including live TV, ready to watch on any web-connected device for no extra charge. That's TV Set Free. Enjoy the extra value Localtel delivers with TV everywhere. Visit localtel.net and sign up today.
Dear Mary Maids, just got home from a trade show and I didn't have time to pick up the house. Kids made chili. Jeff did a mud run. Oh, and Winston shredded Teddy's bed. Again, please clean it the best you can. Oh, except for the statue Max made for me. Thanks, Abby.
Hi, Abby. Clean kitchen, clean bath, clean floor, naughty cat, poor Teddy. The statue is precious. You should keep it forever. See you next time, Mary Maids.
Why live your life in the dark? At Schmidt Electric, we're one of the oldest and most respected companies in the Pacific Northwest.
Founded by my father in 1960, we have grown from 2 employees to 130.
From small commercial businesses to heavy industrial companies, we employ some of the most respected contractors. We're also a proud member of the International Brotherhood of Electrical Workers for over 50 years. Call us at Schmidt Electric today.
Hey, this is Mike Mad Dog Magnani, and everybody is entitled to my opinion. Now, we love to be right. Oh boy, how we love to be right. We'll argue and insist on being right, even when we know we're wrong. Well, Dale Carnegie said that the only way to win an argument is not to have one in the first place. Now, he quoted a poem that went like this: "He who is convinced against his will remains of the same opinion still." We need to think about this when a potential argument's brewing, especially with someone like our wife or our husband. We should think, wouldn't it be better to understand this other person's perspective than to try to convince them of mine? Now, let me tell you, being right, particularly with a loved one, can be a cold and lonely place to be. This is Mike Mad Dog Magnani, and that's my opinion.
Me no crunch.
In our experience, some people are just cut out for charter college and for success in a new career. These charter types are hard workers. Charter types go above and beyond. And charter types are responsible. If you're ready to get to work making a better future for yourself, you're just our type. Charter College. We work to get you to work.
Quality, comfort, style, service. This is the Crown Furniture difference for more than 50 years. Their commitment to you is to provide the best furniture and mattresses the industry has to offer at a great price. Shop Crown Furniture today to experience the difference. And remember, free setup, delivery, and haul away in their service area is just another way they show they care.
Hi there, my name's Patrick and I'm the branch manager here at New American Funding. Applying for a home loan is an exciting time. You may have a lot of questions about how to meet your home loan goals, the loan process, or your borrowing options. We're here to help. We do things differently here at New American Funding. Not only do we have an array of loan products and a team of specialists to support you, but we get to know you personally. We want to earn your trust and business for life. So stop by our Wenatchee or Chelan office or give us a call today.
And welcome back to Wake Up Wenatchee Valley. It is just about 41 minutes after the hour on this Thursday edition of this award-winning program, which has never actually won an award, but I have a template on my computer and I can just print one up, frame it. My guests today from the Mobile Meals organization is Marky Bowling and Sandy Briggs. Marky Bowling is chairing this year's variety show, and Sandy has been, I don't know, pretty much everything Mobile Meals related for a long time now.
Not quite everything, but
you are to me.
Thank you.
We got a lot to talk about. First of all, Mobile Meals. Thank you for doing the show. I can't believe I haven't had you guys on yet. I mean, what's going on? I'm an idiot. So thank you. Marky, you reached out to me and said, can we do your show?
And I didn't think about it before this year.
Yeah.
And I think Sandy might have suggested it to me.
Mobile Meals, just a brief little, what is it? What do we do? What's it all about?
We are a meal and a friend at the door. That's our motto. And we deliver a hot meal about lunchtime, Monday through Friday, to residents in Wenatchee and East Wenatchee who are homebound, disabled, recovering from surgery, hospice patients, that kind of clients. And we purchase the meals from Central Washington Hospital, so we have an office there adjacent to their kitchen and cafeteria.
You sent me a really cool newspaper clipping from the Wenatchee World from back in 1973. That's a really cool thing. And now you can't read the caption, but I'll tell you what it says. It says they serve about 35 meals a day. This was back in 1973. How many meals a day are you now up to?
90.
90 meals a day.
And I will say, if I can, that lady in the rickrack dress is my mother,
Oh,
Barbara Kinney.
Oh,
and
cool.
she was one of the ladies that helped found Mobile Meals.
So it runs in the family?
Yeah, it does.
And how long is a Mobile Meal? That clip's from 73. How
We
many
started
years?
in 1971.
1971. So obviously the need, what did they do before 1971?
Well, I'll tell you what happened was there was a couple of doctors' wives who noticed their husband's patients discharged from the hospital had struggled, and Wenatchee's the kind of community where people see a need and jump in. So they were like helping out, and it got to be more than they could manage. So they approached the hospital about purchasing meals from the chef in the kitchen and got their friends together and just started taking meals to these people. And pretty soon it was more than they could handle, the two of them, and they just recruited friends and it took off from there.
It's going great guns. The next slide we're going to show you is this is the meal prep. This is in the kitchen at the Central Washington Hospital as they put together all of the meals. So this marriage has been going on for a long time.
Right, yes.
Which is great because a lot of people, when they're being discharged from the hospital, they have dietary restrictions.
Exactly.
So,
yeah, and so we can accommodate some special diets, and we work with the kitchen staff or their healthcare providers. And I would like to say that we purchase the meals from the hospital. They donate their labor as an in-kind donation to Mobile Meals. So there's staff that's cooking, and there's one person that helps me in the meal packaging. That's a huge donation from Confluence Health.
and then we have that goes from there in the kitchen into the coolers. Is that a typical load for a typical day?
Yeah. We have 7 routes a day, 4 in Wenatchee and 3 in East Wenatchee. So the drivers pick up their supplies and their driving instructions and they head off.
I see red coolers and blue coolers, obviously.
The larger blue coolers on the bottom have the main meals, and then there's a side dish of soup, salads, desserts that are in the smaller ones.
And give me an idea of a typical meal that you bring out to...
Well, we have pot roast, potatoes and gravy. We had Mexican. Usually we have 2 choices to accommodate. We had homemade chicken pot pie yesterday with cornbread.
Ooh,
and then there was a taco casserole. There was that choice. And then for the special diets, we give a list to the cook, and so there would be some more bland, low salt things for people that need to have a plainer diet.
And then you load it all up. Of course, we did that. And I want to show that because these are the cool people. This is the board of directors. There they are. That's a good-looking group. Talk about your board. No board, no mobile meals.
We could not function without them. They are the most dedicated people I know. Volunteer their time. All of them are drivers. That's not necessarily a requirement to be on the board, but it gives them a first-hand look at when they're making decisions on how the program operates. They do all kinds of hands-on things. They prepare a budget. When we write grants, they proofread the grants for me. They help in the kitchen when we have emergencies. If I say I need an Excel sheet, I have a guy that does it. They maintain our website. They do the concert, and all kinds of things. Really dedicated.
The people who receive the mobile meals, when you go out and do this, it's right around the lunch hour, right? Pretty much Monday through Friday, right? Do they write you a check? Are they paying for this? How does that work?
They pay what they can. We have a suggested payment guideline. We're not federally funded or state funded, so there's no income payment scale requirement, but we do ask for a contribution, and it's just based on what they can afford.
My guess is the people who are actually delivering the meals really like doing it.
They do. They get quite attached. Most people volunteer once a month, many do more. And so there's a turnover sometimes, or people get shuffled to a different route. A recipient might, if we need to even out the delivery schedule, and they'll say, Mary wasn't there, where's Mary? And of course, privacy is important. But, I can say, well, she's fine, she's just on Route 5 today, that kind of thing. But they do get attached to them. And it is a benefit to the recipient and the family members, that little quick welfare check. Mary didn't seem herself, maybe you should call her daughter. So we might give the daughter, or call Mary herself and say, are you fine? And do you want a check from your daughter or something? So we do that.
Logistics, is it challenging to figure out where you're going each day to be most efficient?
Well, I tell you, with computer and Google Maps, it's much easier.
What did you do before that?
I'm not sure what they did before, but it's helpful. And then we do get instructions from the recipient or the person who, if there's a social worker who referred them, directions. And then the first day that they're on the route, I always write that they're new that day, and then the drivers are a big help. It might be better if you went left here and right there to make it more efficient getting around.
If you want to volunteer for mobile meals, do you need a specific skill set, or a driver's license and is fine?
You have to be 18, and you need a valid driver's license with insurance, and we do a Washington State Patrol background check, because you are sometimes, if they're volunteering alone, in someone's home with a vulnerable adult. So that's a law. So we do that. And then you go out on a training route with a current driver, and after that's done, then you select a day and off you go.
And it's not particularly time consuming, is it?
I would say if you blocked out an hour and a half to 2 hours once a month, about lunchtime. So we do have working people that do it. If you can flex your lunch hour, retired people, anybody.
And we'll talk about that before this conversation is over, how you can get involved with mobile meals. Hi, Marky. How you doing?
Good. I'm good.
We're going to take a quick break, and when we come back, we're going to transition to Marky, because the big variety show, the 10th anniversary variety show, is coming up Friday, March 2nd at the American Performing Arts Center. We'll talk about all the acts, how it all came together, how you can get involved with mobile meals. When we come back, you're watching Wake Up Wenatchee Valley on the NCW Live channel.
The Arbiter of Stoke is a series that highlights a variety of outdoor adventure sports that are available in the Pacific Northwest. I dedicate my time to enjoying this natural playground. The decision is yours. How will you keep your Stoke?
At Local Myth Pizza, we believe in real food, freshly prepared with only premium ingredients. Our cheeses are imported from Italy. Our sauces, dressings, and even our sausages are made in-house fresh daily. Featuring Northwest craft beers and 30 Chelan Valley wines and ciders. Family fun and amazing food. Eat local, drink local, and be local at Local Myth Pizza.
Come see why Sunset Magazine says you can't beat Local Myth Pizza.
Every golfer aims to play their best, and smart golfers turn to the golfer's edge to get the golfer's edge. PGA professional Ed Payne has you covered from tee to green. You can work on your swing or play 18 in air-conditioned comfort on the golf simulator. Tanya's Corner has all the apparel the golfer needs at sale prices. And Ed can even rebuild your favorite set of clubs or custom make you a brand new set. Ask how you can qualify for a free 30-minute lesson at the Golfer's Edge on Mission between Kittitas and Yakima.
Ready Medi is healthcare made simple and affordable. We are the only direct primary care practice that provides personalized and holistic healthcare in North Central Washington. Our wellness model not only helps prevent heart attacks and strokes, but we also optimize hormones. Affordability is our goal. For example, hip surgery locally is $45,000, whereas our members have the same access for $15,000. Ready Medi, healthcare made simple and affordable.
And we're back, about 10 minutes left in this program. Sandy Briggs to my immediate left, Marky Bowling on the far side of your screen, talking about the Mobile Meals 10th Annual Variety Show, which is coming up on Friday, March 2nd at the Numerica Performing Arts Center. Now Marky takes over. Talk about the genesis of this variety show from 10 years ago. It wasn't always this way, was it?
No, it used to be the mariachi band, choirs, common bond, and about 4 or 5 years ago we kind of started changing it up a little bit. And so now we've really changed it up last year and the year before and turned it into a variety show, which we're really excited about.
You got Matt Cabin and the folks at the America PAC to donate their time. They're donating the space, which
Wonderful,
is just
yes,
a great thing.
Absolutely. And I think Matt's parents used to have mobile meals. Yep. And they're all so easy to work with and do so much to make the show a success. We really, really appreciate it.
The only problem I can think is Matt is kind of shy.
Yeah,
he's kind of an introvert. And,
I think some people go just to see Matt.
he's a ball of fire, isn't he?
He really is.
I love it when I try to get Matt on my show and Matt says, I don't do 6:45 in the morning, Dan. So whenever Matt does my show, Marky, we have to tape it in advance. So it was originally, it wasn't even at the PAC, it was at what church?
It was a church.
First United Methodist.
First United Methodist.
And it was all musical related stuff.
Yes.
And then
yes, it was.
Those things kind of have a shelf life, and you want to keep it going and keep the momentum going and keep this thing going, so it became a variety show.
Yes.
And you got some incredible acts here.
I do. I'm really excited about the acts this year.
You're in charge of recruiting them, so how did they work, Marky? How did you decide who performs and who do you call? And
well, I usually start right after this one's over, and I go to the park at Apple Blossom and watch all the acts there and contact them. And then Sandy and I went to a talent show that Numerica put on at the PAC 2 years ago, and we picked up 2 acts there, and they're both in this year. I went to Lisa B's talent show, and I missed the high school, but that's what I do, just go out into the community. Fabulous Feet Dance Studios are always involved in so many productions in the Valley, and so I tried them, and they were happy to help us out. So basically just going out and seeing what would be entertaining and what people enjoy and smile while they're watching.
Mm-hmm. And it's a variety show, so you're going to get a little bit of everything. Mariachi Hanachi is back again.
Right.
So and I'm surprised. Ramon is probably the softest touch of anybody I know. He was
is.
easy. Right, and then you have Fabulous Feet, as you mentioned before, and you have some solo
Yes.
singers. Give us an idea of some of that.
Well, one of the solo singers was Levi, and we saw him out at Lisa B's in the talent show, and he ended up in the top 3 as far as winning. And he's trying to make music his career. And so he was very excited about coming with us this year. Then we have the Acro, which is Acro Gals or Acro Wenatchee, and that's combining gymnastics and yoga. And I saw them at Lisa B's, and now the lady that brought it back to Wenatchee and her friend who both teach, they're teaching their 8-year-old son, and they were just in the Wenatchee High School variety talent show that went on. And so we're really excited to have that this year.
I take it all the acts are simply donating their time.
They are.
Yeah.
Everybody donates their time and talents, and we really appreciate it.
Because is this the big fundraiser for Mobile Meals for the year?
It probably is, yeah.
Yeah.
We are funded through United Way, which is a large portion of our funding.
Mm-hmm.
But as far as the actual fundraiser events that the board puts on, right.
Anybody turning you down, Marky, when you
No.
call them up? Nope, that's got to make you feel
I've
good.
never been turned down. No,
Yeah.
I loved it. I love it.
The logistic part of it, I mean, what act goes on at what time? Who's in charge of that?
Actually, I try putting it out in order, and then Mike Locke, the stage manager, steps in and says, I think this would be better here, or that would be better there, and he is the key at the PAC to making any program work. He's wonderful to work with, and he makes sure that it's a success.
I've worked with Michael on a lot of projects at the PAC, and he has to wear a lot of hats.
He does. He
Lighting
really
board,
does.
and there's, I don't know how many wireless microphones, 30 or so, and you got to make sure everybody's mic'd up and everything works correctly and the show goes smoothly. I'm looking forward to it. It's going to be a lot of fun.
It's going to be so much fun.
Where do I get tickets? How do I get it?
You can get tickets down at the PAC, the Performing Arts Center. There are a few at the Wenatchee Senior Center, and there's a few at the Mobile Meals office also. But the most is the PAC. It's reserved seating, and so you want to get a good seat. But I think every seat in the PAC is a good seat.
Yeah.
And we do have a prelude at 6:15. There's music in the lobby. The Sanders bass piano duo, and the bar will be open. So people can come early and mingle, and we'll have a table about mobile meals. If you want to find out more about mobile meals volunteering or what we're doing, there'll be information there in the lobby. So come early.
What's this going to run me? How much is the ticket?
It's $12 for adults, and 18 and younger is $8. And we'll also have in the lobby our raffles.
Okay.
Raffle tickets for the year.
So you had some businesses donate some stuff that you can.
Yes, we did.
Okay.
We
you
did.
can charge more than $12.
We could, but we'd like to keep it simple so we can fill it up and let more people enjoy the show.
It's going to be a great show. How long, so people can plan out their Friday, March 2nd, how long is the show? Any idea?
I would say probably from 7 to 9, and there's a short intermission in the middle of it.
Okay.
And one of the things that we're really looking forward to is the Music Theater of Wenatchee, who will do one of their numbers advertising Guys and Dolls.
In fact, that's the closing number, isn't it, I believe?
Yes, it is.
So
the closing number.
It'll be a lot of fun.
Very excited about it.
Does the Wenatchee Valley have talent?
Oh, so much talent.
Yeah.
And outside of Mobile Meals, I've been going to other things at the PAC, and it's amazing how many talented people there are. The high school shows and everything at the PAC, it's very easy.
We've often had choirs from both the high schools or a jazz group. You know, a lot of times we've had to try to get some students in there. And the teachers are great to work with on that.
Yeah, and it's a great way to cut your teeth in the business,
It is.
so to speak, to say, I think, go up on stage and take a run at it, Thank you for not
Here's a
recruiting me, because the whole thing would go right in the tank with that. Back to where we started. No volunteers, no mobile meals. It's as simple as that. How do people get involved? Say, I'm retired. I have a good driving record. I'm a nice guy, and I think I can help you people out. What do I do from there?
The fastest way would be to check our website, Mobile Meals of Wenatchee. There's the information there, and the driver application and background check forms they could print right off of there. They could certainly call the office at 665-6254, and I'd be happy to send that out. The biggest way also is if probably they know somebody who's driving and they just don't know it. And so one of the biggest ways we get volunteers is current volunteers bring their friends and show them what it is. So it's very simple.
All organizations, all 501(c)(3)s need new blood. You're happy with the board? I mean, the board is fantastic, but there's there's always a chance to serve on the board
Right,
and that kind of stuff.
And our board cycle is from June to June, so we will be starting to recruit board members soon, and they meet in June, and then Wenatchee is kind of a summer town, so our board does not meet in July and August, so it's not a commitment in the summer. There's emails and information, but then so from September to June is the cycle that the board meets, and they meet once a month on Thursdays at the United Methodist Church at 1 o'clock. The church donates the meeting room, so we meet there.
Are you always in need of volunteers?
Yes, we are.
It's just part and
Yeah,
parcel.
people come and go. We've grown. When I first started, we only had 5 routes, and now we have 7. So that meant 2 more volunteers a day. So it grows like that.
And kudos to Central Washington Hospital. I mean, they don't have to do that.
No, it's a great partnership with them.
Yeah, it's easier, as I mentioned before to a lot of people, it's so much easier to say no than it is to say yes, and the fact that they're doing that.
Right, and they are committed to what we do.
Yeah. So once again, it is Friday, March 2nd at the American Performing Arts Center. Matt Cadman is the MC. He's kind of full of energy, if you're not familiar with Matt. Mariachi Hanachi, Levi Watts, the Wenatchee Acro Tribe.
Yes.
Thank you. A ukulele group.
Yes.
That I love. Fabulous Feet is going to be doing a couple of different numbers.
Yes, they
right? The Apollo Club, these guys can sing. The Bongo Brothers.
Bongo drums, can't miss it.
Okay, bongo drums.
They are
okay.
great.
They're super kids.
Right. We already mentioned Cody Lane Lippert, and of course Music Theater Wenatchee will be doing their number with Guys and Dolls. It sounds like a lot of fun.
It is going to be a lot of fun. We're looking forward to it.
And this is the 10th, so that's a cool thing. That's a cool thing. I like it when something, an idea blooms and that germinates and grows and becomes a going concern. So, and thank you to Matt and the America PAC for donating their facility. So that's going to be a lot of fun. Do you mind if I show up?
No, that'd be great.
Please do.
Good, yeah. I'll keep Matt under control.
There you go.
How do people get a hold of Mobile Meals, real quick? What's the website?
665-6254 is our phone number, and then mobilemealsofwenatchee.org.
You ladies can come back anytime you want.
Thank
You have
you.
an open invitation.
Thank you.
Everybody have yourself a good Thursday. We'll see you tomorrow. Take care. Bye-bye.